Imagine the food is gone. Not late, not low. Gone. The hunt failed. Again. The berries are buried under deep snow. Your children have not eaten in 3 days, and the winter has only just begun. Feel that hollow ache in your stomach right now? Now stretch it across weeks. This was not a rare nightmare for ancient humans. It was a regular part of being alive. And to survive it, they did things. Dark things. Things you have been taught to never imagine. Today, we are going down the ladder of desperation. Rung by rung. Each one darker than the last. And I promise you, the bottom rung will stay with you for days, because the final method is so disturbing that for years scientists refused to believe it was real, until the bones proved them wrong. So ask yourself one question as we go. How far down would you go to survive? Let's find out. It always started the same way. A long, cruel winter, or a hunt that failed too many times. The stored food ran out. The animals simply vanished, and a quiet panic settled over the group. At first, they did the obvious. They tightened their belts and ate less. They slept more to save their energy. They chewed on old scraps to trick their stomachs. But hunger does not negotiate. So they took the first step down. They ate the things no one touches when times are good. Grass, weeds, bitter roots. They dug up anything green and forced it down. And when the ground froze solid, they turned to the trees. Yes, the trees. Under the bark of a pine is a soft inner layer. They scraped it out and ate it. Some even ground it into a rough kind of bread. Bark bread kept whole villages alive for months. It filled the belly. It just did not truly feed it. When even the plants were gone, they got creative. They started eating things that were never food. Leather, animal hide, old straps. They would boil a piece of leather for hours until it turned soft enough to chew. Their shoes, their belts, the cover of a shelter. If it came from an animal, it could be boiled and swallowed. It gave almost no nutrition. But chewing something, anything, kept the mind from breaking. Then came the bones. Every scrap of an old kill was cracked wide open. Inside was marrow, rich with precious fat. They smashed the bones with rocks and boiled them for hours into a greasy broth. In starvation, fat is worth more than gold. Nothing, and I mean nothing, was wasted. And here is where most people would stop. But ancient humans could not. So they ate what crawled. Grubs pulled from rotting logs, beetles, larvae, worms. They dug insects out of the frozen ground. And when even those ran out, they hunted the animals no one wants to eat. Rats? Mice? Whatever moved in the dark. A single rat could mean one more day alive. Quick pause. If this is gripping you, hit like and subscribe. This channel goes to the places history books skip. And trust me, we are only getting started. Because now the ladder gets much darker. When there were no scraps left to boil, they turned to the animals they still had. But not in the way you think. A starving group could not afford to kill their last animal. A dead animal feeds you once, but a living one can feed you again and again. So instead of killing it, they drank from it. They opened a small cut in the animal's neck, drank its warm blood, and then sealed the wound to keep it alive. Blood is full of protein, salt, and iron. It was a living pantry on 4 legs. Some groups survived entire winters this way. And when an animal was finally killed, They did not start with the meat. They started with the stomach. Inside a deer or a horse is a mush of half-digested plants. To us, that sounds revolting. To a starving hunter, it was a miracle. It was the only source of vitamins for miles. They scooped it out and ate it first, before it could ever go to waste. The animal had done the gathering for them. Quick question before we go any deeper. In the comments, tell me the rung where you would stop. Most people say 3. Almost nobody makes it past 7. Let's see if you're right. But sometimes there were no animals at all. No plants, no insects, nothing. And this is where it turns truly strange. Because desperate humans ate the ground itself. They swallowed clay and soft soil. It sounds completely insane. But certain clays actually calm a screaming stomach and can even soak up the poison in bitter roots. It did not feed them. It just made the agony bearable for one more night. Imagine being so hungry that you eat the earth. For thousands of humans, that was a normal day. Then came a choice no one ever wanted to make. The animals they loved. The dogs that hunted beside them and slept at their feet. The last loyal companion in the whole camp. When everything else was gone, even they were not safe. It was betrayal and survival in the same terrible moment. And still, the hunger was not satisfied. There was one rung left, the one at the very bottom. For a long time, we told ourselves a comforting lie, that our ancestors would rather die than cross this line. They would not. When the food ran out completely, some ancient humans ate other humans. First, the ones who had already passed away. A body that could no longer be saved became the only thing keeping the others alive. It was not evil. It was arithmetic. One life lost could mean 5 lives saved. And here is the part scientists could not accept. For decades, they simply refused to believe it. Then they found the caves. In caves across Europe, archaeologists found human bones. But these bones were not buried with any care. They were cracked open for the marrow, with the exact same cut marks as animal bones. Butchered, cooked, cleaned. In one cave in England, they even found human skulls, shaped into cups to drink from. This was not a one-time horror. It happened again and again for thousands of years. The evidence was simply undeniable. Our ancestors survived by eating their own. And in the very worst famines of all, groups faced a decision too dark for words. If someone had to be lost so the rest could live, who would it be? History whispers the grim answer: the weakest, the sick, sometimes the youngest. These are the stories that never made it into the songs, the ones passed down only in silence. So why am I telling you all of this? Because these dark methods are the reason you exist. Every single one of your ancestors survived every famine that ever hit them. Not one of them starved before having children. Not a single link in that chain ever broke. And they survived because they were willing to do the unthinkable. The knowledge of famine foods was sacred. Elders taught the young what to eat when all else failed. Which bark? Which clay? Which insects? That knowledge was more valuable than any weapon. It was the difference between a tribe living or vanishing. And that ancient hunger still lives inside you. It is why your body clings to every extra pound. Why you crave sugar and fat so badly. Your body still thinks the famine is coming. Because for your ancestors, it always was. You are the descendant of the ones who did whatever it took. The squeamish did not make it. The survivors did. And their blood is the blood in your veins. We like to think we are civilized now. Soft, safe. Above all of this. But civilization is only ever a few missed meals deep. Take away the food for long enough, and the ladder is still there, waiting patiently under our feet. Our ancestors climbed all the way to the bottom of it,
so that we would never have to.
The next time your stomach growls and the fridge is full, remember what that full fridge really means. It means you won a war. Your ancestors fought for 2 million years. If this gripped you from start to finish, subscribe, because the next story is even darker. And tell me honestly in the comments, how far down that ladder do you think you could go? Be honest. Thanks for watching.